Twitch is now going to be caps. Which I can do about it. I put this overshirt on because it's actually getting kind of cold, which is weird. It's 10 degrees outside, but one thing I'll point out, one thing I'm not going to miss, is that door, right? That door, I know people say it looks like a jail door, but for a jail door there is a ton of gaps all around the edge of it, and as soon as it gets ever so slightly cold, it gets freezing in here. Really, really cold. It's so annoying. And like you can hear the traffic noise as well. Like, I've got these headphones on, they're meant to be noise cancelling. They cancel out most noise, but I can still hear the traffic. And the worst thing, oh, tons of people have said it looks like a jail door. But yeah, I'm finally getting out of jail. But yeah, like tons of people have said it looks like a jail door. I know I just said that. That wasn't what I wanted to say at all. What was I gonna say? It was, oh yeah. So there's like the worst thing is my window. Like it's messy over there, so I don't really want to show this. But basically, if you go to the like over there, that's my window, right? Oh shit. But that's my window, and what you hear when people are sat outside in their car on their car phone is not only their side of the conversation, but also the other person's, because people, for whatever reason, have no common courtesy when they're using a car phone. They just scream into it, they have it as loud as possible because they can't hear it over their engines that are also too loud, and yeah, it's just a pain. But we're here for our second game of today. I'm going to quickly go into the rankings just to show off how that previous game ended and or what it did. If you look at Group A now, after that first match, we do have IRK at the top of the group here, 5-0 with a plus 18 win difference over Naz now, who have only got plus 13, so really, really sick. But the important thing is looking at Group B, because that's going to be where this matchup's coming from. We're going to see BuLL versus pSi. Now, pSi and BuLL are both in contention at the moment to go into the playoffs. Now, the important thing is here, if anyone but DM get into the playoffs, we're going to have an 8-person playoff bracket, if I remember correctly. So DM obviously wanting to get back into the playoffs for the first time since round 1, but I know Naz have explicitly said they want DM to not make it, because obviously it means they get in the playoffs as well, because they're not in the top 4 positions at the moment. But if they win round 4, that could all change. Like, we're going up to the final moments of the STPL Season 1, pretty much. Like, this is the penultimate week of round 3 even. Oh, okay, just to clarify something as well, I just checked Discord, and Age said that apparently Aru and Darkish both Darkish disconnected but never came back online, so that's why he suddenly left. But to be fair, like, the game was pretty much done. Like, there wasn't really too much he can do. Let's actually have a look at the player rankings as well to see how that changed after the previous one. I'm not sure why my video in the background is frozen, but hopefully there's nothing nefarious going on there. If we look at the top 10 players, DeWalt's yellow goes up a little bit. Goes up, oh boy, he was up above Terra and Dragon anyway, but beating Herbie, he did get like probably 5 or 6 MMR, I'd imagine. So not much has changed on that front. I'm just quickly downloading the replays because I thought I'd already done that, but they were sent to me a little bit late. So hopefully you guys are all enjoying the show so far. Obviously we're going into the weekend. Like, my weekend has technically already started. I am ecstatic about this weekend because I love the weekend. Weekend's the best time of the week other than when I'm casting STPL. So it's always good. I'm going to get some relaxing done, going to see if I can make some more stuff for the STPL, for the upcoming things no one knows about yet, minus a couple of people, who hopefully aren't going to say anything until I properly announce it, because that's going to be being announced soon. It's going to be exciting for me because it's something I put a lot of effort into as well, and it's going to be good. Now we're going to go into our game here, obviously, just making sure that we get the saved. But while I'm doing that, let's introduce both of our teams. Whoa, okay, apparently I didn't actually... There we go, let's populate it. Just like magic. It's all sorted by the power of technology and a Yeti's insane PvP win ratio is crazy. But looks like BuLL, they've won 5 of their series overall. They've been with us since round 2. Storm been with us since round 1, won 5 of their series overall. The win ratios for BuLL looking a little bit better, but their Protoss really not their Protoss, the Zerg really, well no, it is their Protoss, really struggling actually. 3 wins, 28 losses, so a little bit unfortunate there for them. But in terms of today's matchup, we're not actually going to see any of their Protoss, so nothing much to worry about there. Let's have a look here. Now, I'm going to reset the key bars. We're going to start off with a TVZ between Fly Mio and Cold on the Mancha. Going to go into a TVP between Reyna and Grast on Medusa. We're going to see a ZVP between Dark and Marine on Holy World SE. As a matter of fact, that may have been a TVZ. And then a ZVP between Dio and Headmaster on New Bloody Ridge. Now, just going back to the camera a second before I go any further forward, just while I quickly load up these replays. The one thing I have, and the one problem I had very early on in the STPL, and I only fixed it in round 3, was I couldn't properly change people's races. So what was happening is I was having a lot of trouble with the overlay, but the problem is Marine plays all 3 races, so depending on the map, depending on his mood as well, he'll submit a different race every single week, and obviously my overlay looks at like a main race for them, and his main race is set as Protoss, so I guess we'll see exactly what's going on, but we should have a ZVP on Holy World SE, which would be kind of cool. Just quickly extracting the replays, and while I do that, let's introduce both our players here in game number 1. Okay, so starting us off for BuLL, it's going to be one of their mainstays. It's going to be Fly Mio. Now, Fly Mio has been around for pretty much every single series that BuLL has actually played. He's only won 4 of his games, unfortunately, but he's been up against some really strong opponents. And he definitely had a little bit more luck a little bit earlier on, but it's good to see that in chat, Yeti's just said he's going to return to play for Net Wars soon, which is something he's not played for a while. He's going to want to defend his title at the top of the scoreboard as well, because obviously when you're at the top for so long and you suddenly start seeing other people going above you, it can be a little bit, well, not disheartening as such, but it can be a bit sad, I guess. Because at the end of the day, you always want to regain the top spot, but there's a lot more events coming. All of them are going to be counted in the database. I believe what I'll probably do is change the. I might do a second top 10 and do like an overall STPL top 10, and then do like a top 10 for season 2 as well. But it's certainly something I'm looking forward to doing. Okay, so his opponent fighting for pSi. It's going to be Cold. Now, Cold is another one of the mainstays for pSi's team. He's done a pretty good job so far. He had an insane, really cool ZVT against Radley. This was all the way back in round 1 though, on New Empire of the Sun. We saw about 8 nukes that game, which is always a good thing. Obviously, the more nukes you have in a game, the better. I can't really complain. Now, this is interesting. So I wonder why that isn't loading properly. That's something we're going to have to check afterwards. But we do have Fly versus Cold. No one reported that were any overs. That is really weird. Okay, I know what the problem is, so I've got the replays, which is great, but some of them have got the wrong file extension for whatever reason. But let's open up the first replay. Let's get in to game number 1 as we introduce our first map of the second series. It's going to be La Mancha. Okay, so with La Mancha, it's a really cool 4-player map, very normal. I wonder. I open Okay, that's definitely a replay file. Wow. I chose to open that file in Notepad and it messed up completely everything. It was just like a load of weird stuff. But I'm gonna call them rep files. Hopefully that'll fix them. But either way, La Mancha's a 4-player map here. It's one of the most standard maps we've ever had in the STPL. It was one of the first maps used and shown off in StarCraft Remastered for the 20th year anniversary StarCraft event in Korea. That was a lot of fun. I actually watched that as well live. That was really cool. It's here in the STPL. We've had some 6-hit games. It's a TVZ, which we've had 4 of so far. Terran are actually 1-3 down, but pSi is real. Am I correct, guys? So let's get into game number 1, and let's see who's going to win between pSi's Cold or BuLL's Fly Mio. Okay, so starting us off here in the top left-hand position, we do have the yellow Zerg fighting for pSi. It's gonna be cold. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom left-hand position. We do have the Teal Terran fighting for BuLL. It's Fly Mio. Okay, Mr. Waltherhen, why Vaporwave wallpaper, wear it Memphis Funk? I don't know what you mean by that entirely, but if you're saying what's with the like Vaporwave aesthetic, yeah, it's something I like. I enjoy listening to like retrowave and vaporwave, so I decided to try and make a theme for the STPL around it, and that's kind of where I arranged it where I am. I love the like faux 80s theme. I love 80s music. I love retrowave. I love synthwave. I love vaporwave. I love Simpsons wave, although that's a bit weirder. I'm not going to make a Simpsons themed STPL event, but it was one of the things I was really into at the time. And I was going through a tough time when I updated all the overlays, and I just wanted to do something that I enjoyed, and I just found this, and I decided to make it. So I know a lot of people have said they like it, so that makes me happy. We've actually got Fly Mio going for kind of a semi-wall off here. I wonder if he's going to go for 1-1-1 behind this. The gas would be a little bit late if he was going to, but obviously the later the game goes on, the better things get. So we've got Cold going for a spawning pool on 12 after a 12 hatch, so not really too much to say other than that's pretty much the most standard opening you can possibly get. He is going to go for a second depot here. Now, walling off in TVZ is not the most common thing with TVZ. TVZ obviously bio, you don't really want to ever lift your barracks. Obviously he's left a gap, so it's not a full wall. It does allow him to block that in case there is like a big ling rush. He's obviously not been able to scout his opponent as of yet. Getting the last scout with SCV, a little bit unfortunate for him. Gas is going to be on the way though. Second barracks on the way, so 2 Racks Academy coming in here for Fly Mio. Now, for a 2 Racks Academy, this barracks is actually, or this gas is really early. 2 Racks Academy, realistically, I think want to be getting the gas around 24 supply, just because you can't actually get enough. Okay, I stand corrected. It looks like he must have. Oh, of course, he's doing 2 Racks Academy on 1 base. So yeah, that makes sense. If you go for a command center, you can't get the academy till about 26 supply, but he's actually going to go 1 base, 2 Racks Academy, kind of like what we saw. Well, Radley didn't really do that in the last game. Yeah, looks like we are going to have scout being denied. That's going to be more annoying. Obviously Fly Mio is going to be able to scout the number of lings, but there's actually a decent number of units coming over. Some SCVs have been pulled. He's going to try and get a bunker up here and cancel out this initial hatchery. The first creep colony is only just now building. A couple of medics going to be on the way. Stim is on the way as well, but he's on a little bit of a timer here. If he can stop this creep colony from coming up, then maybe he can make this work. But this sunken colonies do an insane amount of damage, and obviously the more drones he gets, the better, because when we do see those medics coming in, that's going to be good. But the Marines not going to be able to take down the Sunken, going to be forced back. That's a big win for Cold, because he's going to have double Sunken colony, and that means you need double medics before you can even think about going anywhere near those Sunkens. Realistically, you want one more Marine than there are Sunken colonies, just so you can block the damage from the Lings as well. But 3 hatcheries coming, or 3 hatcheries already up. Lair coming in for Cold on the other side. Don't think, yeah, so he doesn't have Ling speed? Oh, he actually, oh, that's a big mistake. He double stimmed on his units, so actually losing a few more units than he needs to. And when you're going for this kind of build, he puts himself really far behind, not only economically from pulling so many SCVs, but he didn't actually do that much damage. He's going to be stuck on one base for the time being, and he's not going to have the large bio count that you need to ever possibly go and bust. So I know that Lucky Noob said please no 6-minute curse, but if there's anything in this game, it could be a 6-minute curse for Fly Mew, because when the mutelists start to pop out here, which should be around 6 minutes 30, I would say. Wow, no, he's actually going for Hydra Den. So Hydra Den off the back of this makes it a little bit more interesting. Lurker builds means Fly Mew has more of a chance to come back in the game, purely on the basis that Cold is not going to be able to be super aggressive early on. Obviously, if he can get Lurkers up to Fly Mew's natural, that's just going to be game over. But Cold still needs to play pretty defensively. Adding on a 3rd creep colony doesn't want to possibly lose, but Lurker aspect should be on the way fairly soon after this. And you can see that Cold doesn't actually have that many drones at the moment at either of his bases. Only about 11 drones overall, and another drone being used for the Sunken is obviously less on the economy. So both players are a little bit battered, a little bit bruised. Obviously Fly Mew did take about 4 or 5 drones out with that initial attack with the Marines, but he doesn't have enough to break in anymore. I mean, he's got the 3 medics here. Like, if you get enough bio up here, 3 medics could break the Sunken colonies, but it really isn't worth the risk. Now Fly Mew is actually going for a starport behind this, so he is going to go fully 1 base tech. For some reason he's got units back here. I think he's a bit worried about possible flanks coming in from another hidden base. Doesn't want to lose to like a big Ling run by. That certainly actually killed me a good number of times. And here we go, the Ling's going to push out, see if he can do some damage. Does pull back. This Firebat is going to be crucial in this early game stage of this engagement. We're actually about to pass the 6-minute curse, unless the game suddenly ends in 3 seconds, which I don't think it will, so that's always good for us. The longer TVZ, the longer it goes, especially when it starts off from a weird position, the better. Now we do have nice Firebat micro coming in from Fly Mew. He needs to get the Firebat on top of the medics. And here we go, good micro there, does save his Firebat. Oh, I thought he was actually going to go and attack there. That would have been a little bit worrying. But with 3 medics, 3 of those units, a really nice trade on those Lings. And this is the benefit of leaving those units back here, because these Lings are going to meet their untimely demise at the front. Now still no base, or 3rd base even coming up. We've got the science facility coming in, and the dropship. Now this dropship right here, this is quite possibly the most important thing in this game right now, because he's going to be able to skip this Sunken wall. And you know what, there isn't. There's no Mutas, there's no Scourge. And with no Mutas and no Scourge, Lurkers aren't going to defend your main. You're going to have the Lurkers out at the front. Now there are some scouting Lings around the map. There is an Overlord down here as well, so, oh, could the Lings actually move in and see this dropship? Looks like he won't see it just yet, but there's a lot of stims actually going down. Fly Mew double stimming a lot here. Now this is going to be really important to see if Cold actually does see this. His Lings are moving into position. Is he going to spot the dropship? He does! What a move by those Zerglings. This is going to give him the ability to go and defend. He needs to split his Lurkers immediately and go back, because what an amazing scout, but he's not reacting. He's not pulling his Lurkers back. Here we go. Looks like it's going to be a double drop into the main. He's going to drop and pull back. Cold obviously does not know these units are in his main right now, but the Lurkers should be back here. They should be defending. Where are the Lurkers? He's got them at the front. This is... I guess he didn't see it on his mini-map. Ah, this is so unfortunate, because if he cleared up this drop with losing nothing, he would be in such an incredible position, but looks like the dropship has shown itself. The Lurkers are going to move back just in time. Lurkers trying to go for this around. The Link's actually getting a lot of damage. The dropship with the hot pickup on some of those units, but there's still nothing that can shoot this down, so he is going to have to be careful. There's actually no Lurker in the natural now, so maybe if Flymeo sees this, he's going to be able to do something about it. He's actually going to just drop down the front. Now, Flymeo is actually still on one base. There is going to be a lurk or a vessel in if there's no vessel already. Here we go. The first vessel is in fact out. And with tanks here and with the vessel, this is still a strong position for Flymeo. Cold has got a decent economy, but he's obviously still stuck on 2 gas. The vessel is going to make these lurkers completely ineffective. And as long as siege mode is done, which I can assume it is, then he is going to be able to push this position. Now you can see siege mode is done. The lurkers are going to try and move down. The marines all stimming, going to try and counter as many of these units as possible. Pulls back with the marines. Second, or the first tank does go down even, but 1 tank survives. A good trade there by Cold, but still a little bit difficult. Now, welcome Sham 2. This is the real Sham 2. He does have that wrench because he likes fixing things. That is his job, much like mine. But this tank gonna be taking down these Sunkens. Eventually gonna be able to go in to attack the main base as well. Now there is still more units coming in. Second base finally coming in here for Flymeo. Looks like he's actually going to opt to go for his third immediately after this as well. So that's going to be his choice. Try and out-expand, outproduce the Zerg opponent. Now the one clever thing that Cold is doing is he's constantly adding Sunkens. Now all this does, it doesn't keep you, well, it does kind of keep you alive because it delays the tanks. It forces them to attack as much as possible. The Lurkers have unsieged again. Here we go, he's going to push back in. What is the spread like on the Marines? Good spread so far. The, oh, nice D-Matrix on that tank, going to keep it alive a little bit longer. Nice spread on the bio as well. There's only a single Sunken. He can actually just go and bust this, but he is waiting for more of his units to come in, just playing perfectly safe. A second tank coming up here. No third base as of yet for Flymeo, but he still doesn't actually have any upgrades. A third lurker coming in. Is Dark Swarm done? No, there's no hype yet. There's no Queen's Nest. And I think this is actually just going to kill Cold. It's going to take a while to finish him off. But as soon as this Sunken Colony goes down, these medics, the Marines, can run in. The Lurkers have actually been pulled back. The final Sunken is going to get taken down. The tanks are finally in range of those eggs and stuff like that. There are some Mulus coming in, but irradiate on the Mulus. The split is not great. There's no splitting here on the Mulus, actually doing a lot of eraser damage to all of his Mulus and the drones back at home. The two Scourge trying to come in, but there's nothing to soak for them. The vessel stays alive, and the second base of Cold is in shambles. One of the tanks at the top going to go down, but with the second tank and realistically all of this bio and a second irradiate going to be coming in here for Flymeo as well. This is bound to be the GG moment. A great irradiate once again. The split a little bit better that time, but 3 heavily damaged mutas, 2 gases. What are you going to do as Zerg in this situation? He's barely got 2 gases as well. I mean, the Mulus are going to try and come back in. They're going to go down immediately. He was trying to snipe the tank, but unfortunately there's not enough units. And even with the additional Lurkers coming in, there's very, very little he can do. And I'm sure this is bound to be the GG moment. He's actually trying to morph a lair on this hatchery to try and keep it alive, but the lair isn't even going to finish. And that's really, really heartbreaking. Cold was in a great position, but man, yeah, this is tough. This is going to be a tough loss for Cold. Looks like we are going to have the Marines and Medics pushing in. They are going to get the one Lurker, going to pull back, going to have to use the Siege Tank. I mean, we've got another Sunken coming in here, but realistically, what is the Sunken going to do against this many Marines? He's going to fall back onto one base. Third base coming up in the 6 o'clock position here for Flymeo. Flymeo has rode this one base tech build to an amazing height. He didn't do too much damage with the drop. I think this is the dropship actually up here, but another great split on that bio. All of the Lurkers go down, all of the units go down from Cold, and GG! Cold is taken down by Flymeo, who stays in the game for a little bit of a victory lap. So, obviously I feel a little bit bad for Cold. Flymeo played that very, very well given the situation. He lost a lot of his early bio. He lost his first drop. Wait, I don't think he lost the dropship. As a matter of fact, I'm still in the... No, so he did lose the dropship, I guess. I can't see the dropship anywhere on the map right now. So he lost the dropship, which is, oh no he didn't, it's by his main. But he never used it again. He lost all the bio that he dropped in the main, and I thought then and there that that was actually going to be game over, because Cold got an amazing, amazing scout on that dropship, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough, and that's going to be the end of game number 1. I'll be back with game number 2 when we get back, just after this. Okay guys, we are back. Well, I say we, it's me today. Rapid looks like he's just woken up. I did say this to him, but I didn't message him because I assumed he'd be doing like the KSL qualifiers today, so I didn't want to wake him up. So hopefully the KSL qualifiers go well for everyone who goes. There's a lot of people in White Clan who are actually trying out. I asked Gyro this just to find out, because obviously what was I gonna say? Yeah, so Gyro announced the White Clan players going to the KSL qualifiers to try out is Force, Daesung, EHS, Barracks, Drug, Sun, Plus _ Plus, which is the weirdest name ever, Gyro, Hiddy, Best, and Mind. So that should be cool. There's going to be a lot of really cool players. So okay, so the first round of qualies isn't broken. Oh, of course, because it's the online one, isn't it? I completely forgot. And then round 3 offline is broadcast next week. Ah! Oh, that's it, because they changed it this time, didn't they? Because they made it, like, it was a cool idea of having, like, online qualifiers and saying everyone from the world can play, and then they made it basically impossible for foreigners to get to Korea in time. So we could even see some top foreigners, which would be really sick. Could you imagine if, like, DeWalt and Eon got into KSL? That'd be so sick. We're going to go into game number 2 here. It is going to be on Neo Medusa. I'm just quick loading up the replay regardless. What am I doing? So, let's introduce our first couple of players. For BuLL, we do have Reina here. Reina, one of the top performing players for BuLL. He's actually got a good, or his MMR, okay, now I've actually started to talk to Rapid, but I'm starting to kill esports again. That's the problem. If I speak to Rapid, I kill esports, and then he has to, like, save it. But yeah, his ELO is really, really high in comparison to a lot of players. He's beaten some really good players in the past. He's actually had a good win ratio as well. 52% with the amount of games he's played is really, really good. He's actually 5 for 3 against Protoss, and his opponent for pSi is going to be Grast. Grast, the team leader of pSi, even, and he said okay. But Grast's a really, really cool guy. All of pSi, I believe, are actually Bulgarian. So all of the, like, it's a fully Bulgarian team, much like NetWars is fully Polish. So if you're ever wondering where any of the players from pSi are from, it's there. He actually does, I believe, like, marketing stuff in real life. So he's pretty good at that. He's not had the easiest opponents in the STPL. He's actually 1 for 2 against Terran. In his last 10 games, he lost to Vulture and Marwyn, so he must have won against Terran either March or April last year, but... Oh no, sorry, there's 3 on the screen. He won against Game last week, so... That's enough to say about that. Let's introduce our second map. It's gonna be on Neo Medusa. Okay, so here's Neo Medusa. It's a 3-player map, or one of the 3-player maps for the round 4 map pool. It's actually in... yeah, it's actually in... what's it called? Oh man, how have I forgotten things? Well, okay, I'm actually looking at something I shouldn't be looking at right now. Yeah, so it's a 3-player map pool in the ladder. I think it's actually in the KSL Season 3 map pool as well. One of the best maps from the Shinhan Bank Pro League 2008 to 2009 season. And just overall a really great map for TVP. We've had 2 of them so far. It's been 1-1. One of them was actually Gyro trying to PS DeWalt from behind his main. Which nearly worked. It was a really, really sick build, but DeWalt with an amazing scout took it out. So without further ado, let's get into game number 2. It's going to be Reyna versus Grast. Okay, so starting us off here in the top right hand position, we do have each Terran fighting BuLL, Reyna. And spawning down here in the bottom left hand position, we do have the red Terran, or the red Protoss even, fighting for pSi. Grast. No, Reyna is not flat. Wait. Ah, okay. So Flash played instead of Reyna. That makes sense. I'll just fix it. There we go. So Flash is a different player. Basically, what it is I got sent the report and it said Reyna replaced Flash. So I just assumed that Reyna replaced Flash, but it looks like Flash replaced Reyna. So Flash is one of the newer players for BuLL. We haven't seen too many games from him so far, but yeah, he's actually only played 1 game, and the last time he played was in July last year, where he played against pSi and he lost against Headmaster. So he's got a little bit of history here, losing to pSi Protosses. Let's see if he can actually win this game. Who is Dave? Huh. This isn't Flash the Korean, no. It's just, I believe, Dio can answer this, but I believe most of the people in BuLL are actually from Bolivia. So I don't know if Flash in this case is Bolivian, but he did take the name and the moniker of Flash. Maybe he'll copy his playstyle, we'll have to see. But copying Flash's playstyle is very, very difficult. For a long time I played under like an ID with Fancy in it because Fancy is my favourite player, so playing as Flash isn't necessarily a bad thing. And it's not only foreigners who do that either. There is actually another Korean Flash. In White Clan there is a guy called Number 1 Flash, like NO1 Flash, and that was fun. And there's also a Korean Last on Red as well. So yeah, stealing usernames. Well, I'd like to say stealing usernames, but given the fact that most of the words are so common, it wouldn't surprise me if they someone could learn about Flash after they've already made that their username, to be fair. But number one Flash is definitely because he's just showing how much he loves the player, which makes sense. I mean, Flash was number one for a while until the end of professional Korean Brood War in the Kesper era. The player at the top of the ELO rankings at the end was Fantasy, and Fantasy's best matchup was TVP. And now, Fancy actually did play a TVP on this map in the OSL Incrit 2008 finals against Stork. He went for a crazy cool 2-base rush, and unfortunately it failed. But it was a really cool game nonetheless. If you haven't seen it, then that's fine. And I am the number one Fancy fan. It's true, but one of the... Wow, the Zealot gets a... The Zealot... Wait, the Zealot got an SCV immediately? Is that supposed to happen? Like, I don't think that's supposed to happen. I think you're supposed to pull the SCV away. But looks like Colt or Grass even getting a little bit cheeky there, getting that kill even. The one Fancy fan. Hey, come on, there's plenty of Fancy fans. Yeah, Fancy got the rep for tilting after that series, which isn't great, but oh well. It was a good OSL finals nonetheless. It was actually the first finals I ever saw, so it was the first Brood War series I ever saw as well. It was the game that got me into Brood War, but yeah, so we've got Flash here with his 6 Marines. Yeah, this is 6 Marines, so he's been continuing building them. He is going to go for an FD push. Should be mines coming up fairly soon after this, then he'll go into a command center behind it. Wow, he's actually going to go just into Marines and tanks. No mines as of yet. That can be a little bit of a problem. You're a Fancy fan. You're a Fancy fan when there's no Zerg in the game. Aww, Lucky Noob, you're so kind. Because I don't like Zerg when Fancy's in the game, because Fancy's TVZ was always a lot to be discovered with his TVP was sick. No, it's not the Flash, it's just it's neither the Korean Brood War god and it's neither the actual superhero. So it's just a guy playing under the Flash moniker even. But yeah, we've got the FD push coming out here for Flash. Managed to push forward with a good number of Marines, but the problem is without any mines behind this. He is going to get mines a little later than you usually see, but he does get a quicker command center because of that. But the mines are really what make this powerful, because if you lay enough mines in the way of Grass, then all of a sudden this becomes a problem. But Grass, with great target firing, does manage to take that down. Now Flash is going to be the one who has to be careful, because yes, his tank did a decent amount of damage, but he's lost all of the things that keep the tank alive. So he's lost the meat for his he's lost the vegetables for his meat and his dinner, and he's having to pull back now. He is doing a good job laying mines here. This is going to make it a lot harder to move back now. Is Grass going to be able to do this? Oh, the mine! Getting 2 of the Dragoons! 1 more Dragoon left behind. But that's definitely a good trade for Flash. Trading away Marines and 1 Vulture for 3 Dragoons almost, and a lot of hull damage on the other 2 is actually really, really sick. So, what a crazy mine. Perfect mine for early in the game. Double gateway coming in here for Grass, who is in fact going for a Nexus behind this. Back at home we do have that command center up. Good repair on this tank. I like to see repairing. Repairing is something that not enough Terran players do enough of. Armory coming in, so we're definitely going to see the Flash style coming out from Flash, although going up to 3 factories on 1 base, not necessarily the Flash style. This is kind of like a more older school version. Obviously if we see double Armory come in, we know for sure that it's going to be the Flash style, but yeah, it's really cool to see players play like their heroes. Obviously the trouble is, when I play like my hero hasn't actually played the game in 8 years, so I play like really off-meta, really old builds, but I have fun, so it's all good. All mines are Flash mines. That's kind of funny. Wow, 12,000 people watching Flash eat and get interviewed. That's really sick. Now, is Grass gonna hide a base up here? He's got a probe up. There's no tech. Like, he obviously has an observer, but no 3rd base yet. Oh, the mine? No, okay, he's got an observer there. That makes it a little bit harder to do the damage. Now, Grass is doing a good job patrolling with this probe. Now, in case you didn't know, if you highlight a worker with another unit that has a patrol command, you can actually patrol the worker. So, I don't know if he was patrolling it deliberately, but it's definitely moving back and forth. I'm going to assume it's deliberate, but Flash going to try and push forward. He doesn't actually have siege mode yet. This is actually pretty bad. Flash is going to be able to like kill a load of Dragoons, so he's going to lose all of his tanks. And the tanks are really the power play in TVP. If your tank count gets reset like that, suddenly you're in an awful position. He was going for a really strong 2-base timing there off of 3 factories. But unfortunately, he doesn't have the units. But here we go. This is more of a fancy-ish style move where you run in, get the vulture mines in. Oh, a great mine again. Another couple of mines coming up in the front, but good target firing by Grass does take them down. Three Dragoons coming in behind, cleaning up the final vultures. And suddenly, with the tank count reset, Flash is going to have to go for a 3rd command center. We got 3 factories going into double machine shop. This is a necessity now, because if he doesn't get a 2nd machine shop, he is going to be really far behind. So he's going to be forced to take his 2nd gas, maybe a little bit earlier than he wants to, although this is actually pretty decent. Flash, though, is playing very aggressively for a man with so few tanks. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad move. Maybe you can go up and steal a 4th base up the top or stop the Protoss from expanding. But if your units get caught out in the middle of the map like this, what are you going to do? Like, you've got no units back at home, you've got a few mines. Okay, this is a clever move. He's going to build a turret underneath the engineering bay to make it a little bit harder for the observer to come in. Now, we are going to see a little bit of a... Oh, wow, he does actually scout it. Nice mines as well going off on top of these Dragoons. And oh wow, he's actually going to go in for the sandwich. The tank's coming in from the back, the vultures coming in from the back, the tank coming in from the front as well. But with more Dragoons coming in than there are tanks, this is a very big problem. A nice mine going down again. I know someone said that all mines are flash mines, and that is definitely the case in this game. But good target firing will not win you this engagement. Wow, he can actually get a couple of these Dragoons though with good target firing. Oh, get the Dragoon. There's one hit away. Just shoot it with a vulture. But the mines. Oh, the mines go down, but that's another 2 kills for this tank and the vulture. But Flash is playing this so aggressively. I've not seen anyone play TVP like this for a while. And yeah, if good target firing won that fight, that would be insane. But that would be the ultimate caster curse. We got the 3rd base coming in here for Grass. He's actually going into 2 Stargate Carrier. 2 Stargate Carrier, very powerful on this map. And against someone like Flash, who is, well, against the real Flash, 2 Stargate, oh, yeah, 2 Stargate Carrier on 3 base doesn't really do too much. But against this Flash, who has been constantly losing units, constantly losing tanks. Oh, another mine goes off but gets the tank as well. Yeah, I mean, there's no upgrades yet for Flash. There's just more and more units. One of the observers going to go down, so it's going to be harder to push through these mines right now. But you can't counter carriers without a force to push with. Now, there is going to be a vulture going up here, cleaning up these bases of any hidden bases or any probes or anything like that. But here we go. Looks like Grass is moving in again. Great target firing on that front tank. Good spreading. Not moving back very quickly. And yeah, Flash is definitely at a deficit here. He's got a supply advantage, but he's down in production. We're going to see 6 gateways here for Grass, whereas... Okay, so Flash is going into 7 factories now, but his armory isn't spinning, and that's not a good sign. He's got +1 attack, but he's got no... Yeah, he doesn't even have a starport right now. And without 2-1, without your upgrades, how are you going to possibly deal with these carriers? Now, there's only 1 carrier on the way at the moment. It does take a very long time for the fleet beacon to start. He's going to start the Inceptor upgrade first, and then he's going to go into the carriers. Flash, though, has not scanned down there, so he does not know this is coming. He's not going to start spamming Goliaths. Like, if he builds up a big enough force and pushes, maybe he can make a miracle happen. The real Flash would do that, but the trouble is, on 3 bases with only 2 gases, you don't have the kind of production you need, and you don't have the gas you need to build as many Goliaths as you can. Now, he needs to push soon because he's on a timer. Now, it looks like he is going to push. And I don't necessarily think it's because he's scouted the carriers, more that he just wants to push, because he is the pushing machine. He needs to keep all these vultures alive. He's going to get a couple of good mines down at the front. Going to make it a little bit harder. Nice mine. Getting one of the dragoons. Oh, the mine drag. That could have been big. Does get a lot of the vultures. But with... wow, he actually has a lot of tanks behind this. What? Wait. Is this the real Flash? Like, what is going on in this game? Flash getting a perfect engagement against all of Grass's ground army. And all of a sudden, Grass going for 2 Stargate carrier doesn't have any units. What is going on this game? Flash gonna secure a position on this hill, gonna cut off the reinforcement path. Oh my god, those tank shots on the probes getting so many kills. 2 gateways gonna be going down at the front. There's gateway units coming out. They're going down though. Oh, there's so many probes going down. Grass is in a terrible position, forced to show the carriers far too soon. Oh, the mine! Okay, the mine doesn't go off, that's fine. But that could have killed all the other probes. This is 2 bases worth of probes going down, 2 interceptors per carrier. He's not going to be able to do too much with those. Flash taking out the third, or the natural. The main base is in tatters, there's nothing mining. The third base is very barely mining as well. And I think Flash has done it. Somehow, the Bolivian equivalent to the Korean god, the ultimate weapon, has come out here in his 2nd game in the STPL and shown an absolute masterclass of how to lose all of your units, but win the game anyway a little bit later on. Truly, truly learning from the real Flash, you know? Flash always says, play calm, play like me, and you can still win the game, and that's exactly what Flash did. Now, Flash was supply blocked for a bit, so his minerals and gas have gone up very, very high. 4th base not coming in, but all of the probes have gone down now. The natural base has gone down. The gateway... oh, the mine... okay, great scan. Oh my god, GG. Flash takes down Grass in game number 2 and ties up the series. Wait. No, he takes BuLL 2-0. I got that mixed up. Okay, so to back back out of that game, let's head back to the camera, because that was a really sick game here by Flash. Like, it's really, really cool to see games like that as well, because Flash played a really, really aggressive style of Terran. I genuinely didn't think he'd be able to break so many times there. He lost so many tanks, but you know what? He played calm, he built a lot of tanks again, and he pushed. And he caught Grass in the time when he was trying to use all of his money to go into carriers, and he just didn't have the kind of ground army he needed. And even though he was unsieged in the middle of the map, Grass units were so heavily bruised from before that he just killed all of the Dragoons so quickly. A really, really well played game there on Neo Medusa by Flash. And that's going to take us into game number 3. It's going to be BuLL's Dark versus pSi's Marine in a PvP when we get back after this. are back. Well, I keep saying we, but it's just me. But it's like muscle memory. I do this all the time at work as well when I'm on the phone. But regardless, I'm back. We're here for game. I guess we are back works because you guys are all here with me as well. You've been my co-casters today, and you've been doing a great job. So we're gonna go into our third game here between BuLL and pSi. It's going to be a PvP. I know the overlay even says it's going to be a ZVP. I don't know why. I've tried to fix it, but unfortunately I can't. So it's going to say PvZ for now, but that's fine. You'll be able to tell what races they are once we're in the game anyway. But just looking here at our first player, it's going to be Dark for BuLL. Now Dark, can he be the dark horse in this series? He has actually only won 2 of the games he's played, unfortunately. He beat Hienmu and Jedi 1 before, so he has won a PvP before, and he's won a PvZ as well, so I will have to see exactly how he goes. The trouble is, he lost to Sugo, he lost to Herbie, and he lost to PRL as well, so not the best record for Dark, but he does have a lot of spirit, and his opponent fighting for pSi is Marine. Now Marine is one of those players that I'm fairly certain has actually played in every single week of the STPL. Looking back over those stats, so he played every week so far of round 4, and every week before that he played as well. So it's kind of cool, but yeah, it's going to be a PvP, and it's going to be on our third map, Holy World SE. Okay, so PvP on Holy World SE. This is actually going to be a treat because we've not seen this so far. So we're going to be learning with each other. This is a low ground main, so maybe it could have some of that gladiator style coin flippiness. But we'll have to find out when we get into game. And number 3, it's Dark versus Marine versus P. Okay, so starting us off here in the top left-hand position is the teal. Sorry, this is the bottom left-hand position. Is the teal's? Oh, man, the teal Protoss fighting for BuLL. It's Dark, and Dark's opponent spawning here in the top left-hand position. It's pSi's Marine in the yellow. Okay, I always go through this, usually Rapids here as well, but basically whenever I see PvPs, I've seen a lot of them over the SCPL's history, 1 year history that is, and they usually go mirror builds, mirror maps, and he is here technically as well, so he gets to listen to my spiel again. Yeah, Rapid, I kind of feel the same when I'm watching you cast BSL. I kind of forget that I'm watching you cast another tournament because it just feels so weird. And I'm like, oh, yeah, he's talking to me. And it's like, wait, no, he's not. Yeah, it is really weird when you do that. Like, when you cast so much as well, just not having to talk when you're watching the game, it's just really, really weird. Like, I can't begin to understand how strange it feels, but we are going to have both of them scouting out each other second, so it's not going to be too crazy. Wow, actually Marine's going to get the last scout here. Wait. Oh yeah, no, okay, I'm just being completely idiotic, but yeah, we've actually got mirror builds, mirror map, mirror matchup, because what else can you have in a PvP? It's just the way it is. Like, PvP, it's always mirror builds. Obviously, in the last PvP we saw in the last series, DeWalt versus Herbie, we actually saw Herbie go for a 2-gate against 1-gate core. And, unfortunately for Herbie, it didn't work out because DeWalt was just too good. Now, we have got 1-gate core on this side. Got 1-gate core on this side as well. So, this is shaping up to be a little bit longer of a PvP. Obviously, if one player goes 2-gate Zealot, it's kind of all in, so we don't really tend to see too much. Now, it's a shame. It's a shame, but we will not see an infested command center today. It pains me. It pains me to say that, but like, just mourn the loss of the infested command center. And yeah, DeWalt had a 6-kill probe. That was insane. Yeah, if you want to see how it happened, watch the VOD, because it really, really was good. Like, it was crazy. DeWalt is actually just so good at this game. But I really hope he's going to try out for the KSL qualifiers, but I don't know if he is. I mean, if there's any foreigners that definitely should, it's him and Eon. Especially because Eon is going to Korea anyway, so maybe he can get there in time. Why do I get, like, okay, so just while we're kind of in the position of not really too much happening, why do I get the feeling that Lucky Noob was about to, like, rickroll someone? I know that rickrolling hasn't been a thing since, like, 2006, but I just had it, like, I had this vision in my head that he was going to rickroll him. I guess I've been, like, reminiscing about the old internet too much. Like, I don't know, I just assumed that I was going to see a link and it was going to be Rick Astley. Like, I don't know why. It just come into my head. I mean, now I've given him the idea, he's probably going to do it anyway, but... yeah, so we got a robo coming up here for Marine. Dark, on the other hand, has gone for 2 gateways. In 2006 or 2007, I'm fairly certain, was when rickrolling was really popular. Thank you for the follow. Oh, thank you for the YouTube sub, Marco. Hopefully you enjoy all of the previous VODs. I believe there's actually over 400 videos. And you know what? After this game, I'm going to click Rapid's link because I just feel like rickrolling myself. It just... oh, okay, unironically, I love that song, but here we go. Looks like Dark and Marine going to have an engagement in the middle of the map. Good target firing by Dark so far. Marine's units are actually stuck on the wrong side, but great target firing by Marine. Gonna be able to take out all... oh, it looks like the tables have turned in the last second of this engagement. It's 1 versus 1 in the end of it all, but 2 versus 1 now. And Dark's double production is going to start to really harm Marine, but Marine does have the Robo Bay coming up. He's actually got an observatory as well, and it looked like while that was trying to go on, he was trying to glitch a probe through the mineral line. Now, this is something you can do on maps like this, and maps like Outsider as well. I want to see him do it. It's quite easy to do with the probe, so keeping an eye on this down here. Looks like Marine's not doing it just yet because he is trying to deal with the 2 Dragoons at the front of his base. Obviously going to be a Reaver coming out, but it's very, very important that he doesn't lose that. Great target firing once again by Dark. And Marine, oh, don't fire up that ramp, Marine, you can't do that. And there we go, the probe actually gets through when I'm not watching. So somehow Marine was microing that battle and pushing the probe through at the same time. That is use of his 300 APM, everyone. Like, I couldn't do that quickly, but there we go. Looks like Marine is going to try and push up onto the high ground. One of his Dragoons very, very heavily damaged. The Reaver going to be firing uphill. If he loses this Reaver, it's likely going to be game over, but with 4... oh, the target fire on the Reaver. Can he save the Reaver? He needs to save the Reaver. The Reaver's so close. 1 hit, boom, goes the Dynamite. The Reaver goes down. Dark pulls away with 1 Dragoon left. And Marine is in a lot of trouble. He was likely going for a shuttle. No, he actually opted to go for a second Reaver there immediately, unless he cancelled the shuttle. But looks like we are going to have 2 versus 1 once again. Back in the main base, the probe is actually putting a pylon down in his base. I don't know if he was, I don't know what he was going to try and do, but we've seen Grast do some kind of weird things as well. But double Dragoon still pushing forward into the base. A shield battery coming up at the front. Gateway being added on as well. Some probes have been pulled. And Marine is kind of in a bit of trouble here. He's down in supply. The second Reaver has come out. It's got no Scarabs. Dark immediately jumping down. Going to use the shield battery to keep it alive for a short period of time. But the shield battery... Oh, he saves it in the last second. Good move. Once again with that shield battery. Perfect play. To keep that Reaver alive. This is so important. The Reaver is the most important thing on this map, but it looks like we're going to have Reaver versus Reaver action. Dark adding his own Reaver. He has a shot already though, so this Reaver is going to be able to be used for offense, which is something that Marine's Reaver can't, and he needs to be careful. If this Reaver goes a little bit too far forward, that's one dead Reaver. And when you've got another dead Reaver, what are you going to do? Marine trying to pull forward and trying to take a Nexus first before his opponent. Now, that's always dangerous, but looks like Dark is planning to do the same thing, so it should be fine at the end of the day. But good target firing by Marine, picking off, snapping off, in fact, that Dragoon that was on low health. And really nice. Gonna pull back behind this. The Reaver coming in to the left-hand side of the base. There's actually no defense back here, but it's really hard to drop Reavers on this map behind this mirror line. The Scarabs bug out a hell of a lot, but looks like this is the move that we're going to see from Dark. He's going to pull the Dragoons in one direction and push in into the main. He's actually going to drop in the mineral line. Oh, where's the Reaver? The Scarab bugs! What a perfect pull away, but there's a great Scarab. I think that was about 5 or 6 kills. Oh, Marine is in trouble now, and he's actually been building observers as well, so he's going to have no additional Reaver. Nice shield battery usage once again by Marine, but unfortunately, shield batteries have finite, and okay, that could have been bad, and I don't know what the hell that noise I just made was, but he's pulling his probe against the Reaver. This is a position you do not want to be in. The Reavers, or the Dragoons actually clumping up here. I think this may be a little bit too late for Marine. He's got the second Nexus up, but look at the Scarabs going, wait, how the hell did that Scarab not bug out? Well, whatever. Dark gets another good Scarab. He's up nearly 20 supply on his opponent. But there is 2 Reavers here, but oh no, Marine's having trouble with diet. Oh, I feel so bad for Marine right now. I'll explain after the game why, but looks like Dark has managed to push through the front. There's actually nothing back here to defend. Gonna pull the probes once again. The Reaver coming back into the main as well. The probes pull back. Oh no, this is gonna be diabolical. Oh, another huge Scarab going down. Oh, please stop. Stop. Oh, another Scarab. This is just too much damage. The pylon at the front being taken out, and Marine is down at 19 supply. And yeah, this is definitely a little bit too much. The Nexus could even go down. We've got a fully mining base back here. Good usage of that shield battery once again, keeping yet another Dragoon alive. That's one really good thing you can say about Marine this game. But there's just too much from Dark. He's down by 50 supply almost. Back at home, another 2 gateways being added on. He's already on 3 gateways over 2. The shield battery, the heroic shield battery that's kept him alive in this game, is going to go down eventually. GG! Marine taps out, and Dark wins. 3 on the trot for BuLL. Okay, and the reason why that game makes me sad is he played on Great Barrier Reef, the last PvP he played, and it was really sad. He couldn't get the Reaver to shoot the cannons in the right angle, or was it Sunken Colonies, whatever it was. He couldn't get it to hit, and he lost the... Well, he didn't... I don't remember if he lost the Reaver, but it didn't win him the game when it should have done. And just then, against the Dragoons, he had trouble on diagonals again. So really unfortunate. But on the trot is a really normal English saying, Rapid. I'm sorry, I'm not going to let you have this one. You ask any of the other English casters, and, well, I guess most of them left England ages ago, so maybe they don't know. There are tons of people who say that. There are tons. Literal metric tons of people. That's at least 10... Oh, what did I say? I can't remember. Someone was doing some about 100 kilograms earlier. But either way, that's going to be the end of game number 3. We've got one more game left in this series. Dozens of us. Dozens. But yeah, we're gonna go into game number 4. I'll quickly load it up because there's no real need to go into a break. That was a relatively short game. It was a cool game nonetheless, but it's going to be Willian versus... You know what, let's just load the game and then come find out. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed all of the... Okay, you know what? You know what? Just because I've got time, let's go back up. Back up, let's see. Oh wow, it's actually not Rickroll. It's Darude Sandstorm. The meme lord strikes again. He's going with a different meme though. Rick Astley is a little bit too mainstream. Meme stream for our meme lord rapid. So double memed. Okay, well that's definitely something I've never heard before. No one says that rapid. Not one person. But yeah, so we're going into our next game. It's gonna be on it's gonna be on New Bloody Ridge. I actually forgot to save that last game, so we're going to quickly go back and do that. So we're on Holy World SE. This is usually the stuff that I do in the break, and then, or when Rapid's like talking, like I get this stuff done, and no one has to know I'm doing it, like behind the scenes, because Rapid's really good at covering for me. But yeah, when Rapid's not here, it makes it a little bit more difficult. And trot is a style of music, but that's not what that phrase means. Oh well. A lot of people don't know the way British phrases because everyone everyone outside of the UK grows up on America, or even even we grow up on American television, and most people know like American English, so they can't spell color, they can't spell flower. No, flower's probably the same. Whatever, I don't know, but no U's in color for Americans for some reason. Okay, so we're going to go into game number 4. It's going to be here on New Bloody Ridge, and it's Willian versus Headmaster. So let's bring up the player info, and then we get into game number 4. Oh yeah, armor is another one. Okay, so starting us off here for BuLL, it's going to be Willian. Now Willian is a pretty cool guy. He's actually 1-to-1. He beat Faust and, or Faust, as Americans would say, and he beat Ghost as well. And his opponent over here, pSi, is going to be Headmaster. Now, is he going to be the Demon Headmaster today, or is he going to be a friendly Headmaster? Because he has got a pretty sick win rate. He's got 52% win rate overall. Obviously, his latest stats, he's actually 5-6 in the last 10 games. But his MMR is pretty good, one of the highest and one of the best players on pSi as well. He actually beat DeWalt on Neo Ground Zero. That was a really sick game. So bust, yeah. Zeus, it is Zeus. How would you? I don't even know how Americans would say Zeus now. I actually don't know. But let's introduce our 4th and final map of today. It's going to be New Bloody Ridge. Okay, so New Bloody Ridge is going to be our 2-player map of today. Top right, bottom left hand spawns. Obviously the map summary goes through quite a lot of the stuff that I would normally talk about, so there's not really too much to say. Zerg are actually 5-1 over Protoss, so this could be the map. Well, actually, this is going to make it really hard for Headmaster, who needs this win to bring a little bit of pride back into pSi. But this win in the series actually takes BuLL a step closer to making it into their first playoffs, which would be insane. So really, really cool for them if they can make it. And it's schedule, but schedule is also right, I guess. I've heard people in England say both. So without waiting any longer, let's get into game number 4. It's Willian versus Headmaster. what would help if I pause the replay. Starting us off here in the top right hand position, we do have the Browns fighting for BuLL. It's Willian. Schedule. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom left is the Orange Protoss fighting for pSi. It's Headmaster. Okay, so ZVP, we've seen a good number of ZVPs today and also throughout the year of the STPL we've had. And ZVP has gone from one of my least liked matchups, unless I was watching B2 or Best play it, to one of my favourite matchups to watch. So it's been a pleasure to be able to bring you so many good games. Hopefully we're going to have a relatively good game here and not just one of those, hey, I built Lings and break your wall because you don't build enough cannons! Which we've actually seen Bonneth die to twice. To Eon Zerg on... no, 3 times. 3 times Bonneth has played Eon. Separate maps every time he played against him on Icarus, against him on Neo Ground Zero as well, and also this map. And every single time Bonneth didn't wall properly and he died to Lings. So we're going to see a gateway first coming in from Headmaster, a little bit of that Bonneth flair, a little bit of that modern PBZ style flair as well. It's a little bit more risky when you don't know what you're playing against, but obviously Headmaster will have done a little bit of research here against his opponent Willian. Obviously a little bit harder to do research about Willian though, because he hasn't played a lot of games in the STPL. So unlike someone like Yeti, obviously if someone wanted to research against Yeti, they can actually just look on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/STPLTV, and there's a link below the stream for that. And they can search for all of Yeti's games, they can watch them all. Another way people can study for them is on Patreon. There is a $5 Patreon tier that if you sub to, you do actually get access to all of the STPL replays so far, including the Christmas Cup that happened in 2018. So if you ever want to see the replays from the games, you can sub on Patreon. So, oh yeah, don't get me started on Scourge. So it's Scourge here, it's Scourge in most of America, and then it's Scourge if you're a Nyokan. I don't know if that's just because... is Nyokan from like Northeast America or East Coast? I'm not too sure. I don't actually know where Nyokan's from, so I don't want to say. But he doesn't sound like he's got a West Coast accent. And the weird thing is, this is gonna sound so crazy, but I've noticed there are like different accents between West and East Coast, but a lot of Americans say there isn't. But like, the amount of people since going to California that I've noticed have got like that West Coast California accent is insane. Like there's tons of YouTubers that have it as well, and they all sound like Doc Holliday. It's really, really scary. Yeah, a lot of people think that there's just kind of like really big accents in like New York and maybe LA, but yeah, I definitely think just like the coasts in general have really, really interesting things. Now, Headmaster did push forward with his Zealots, does get a good engagement on these Lings. Willian is going for a third hatchery at the front of his base. Not going to go for a third base or anything super quickly, but there is no drones actually spawning. There's a couple of drones pulling in now, but he is going to be up against a Nexus. There's actually no cannons as of yet, so if Speed was in first, then maybe that could be a dangerous position. Now, Speed done? I don't think Speed's going to be done. But no lair is on the way just yet. Oh, there's no actual gas yet. That'll be why there's no Speed. Wow, we're getting close to the end of the day for me. It's actually 11 PM at night. I've been up since 7 AM. Went obviously to work for 8 hours. Came back, rejuvenated myself a little bit by eating dinner, and then have casted some wonderful games. And with the support of all of you guys, I have made it through solo casting. Solo casting, I've always felt, is a lot harder than casting with someone else, especially when you've got someone as good and easy to cast with as Rapid, because he's obviously a professional. But when you, like, I've slowly gotten more used to solo casting again. Usually by this point, my voice would be mostly dead. and I wouldn't really know what to do. So luckily enough, we've got through with the help of everyone here. Huge shout out to you guys, all 96 of you in the chat. Hopefully you guys will join us for some more STPL action throughout next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at the same time. Yeah, well done. Let me, I don't know if this is going to work. If this hurts your ears, I'm sorry. Okay, I can't clap properly. What is wrong with me? But yeah, let's try to clap here. Sounds like 5 people casting together. Yeah, like, genuinely, I don't know how he did that. So, yeah, give yourselves a round of applause, because I can't do it down the mic because it sounds a bit too weird. So, gosh, clap. It's because I was trying not to be too, like, too loud. In terms of what's going on in the game, Headmaster's going for his second Nexus. Well, he's got a second gas even. He's gone for Stargate first. Citadel coming in as well. Templar Archives will be going up straight after this. Well, he's actually going to go for a Gateway first. Well, yeah. Had to go there. You wonder if most Americans imagine that all Brits are Hugh Grant like. Genuinely, because of the fact that most of the British actors that end up famous in America, most of them probably do. But yeah, you've got some, there's some, like, my favourite thing, just while we're in a bit of a lull, in fact we're not in a lull, we've got the Zealots trying to push back the Hydralisk. We've obviously got a lot of cannons coming in behind this. These cannons are going to be a very, very important tool in being able to hold this on. He's actually got a good surface area for them, which is going to make it very difficult for William to come in. But I'll go into my story a little bit after the cast. But in terms of what's going on, a lot of Hydras flooding across the map. He's actually misrallied. He's got 3 drones coming in here. Now, as much as I'd love to see a Lucky Noob style proxy hatchery here, unfortunately there's no room. So I guess this is a Lucky Noob style proxy hatchery. I don't even know if Lucky Noob remembers that game. But yeah, Neo Medusa, I remember. I'll never forget that. That was so funny. Oh, that was one of my favourite casts I think I did with Sail, because that was an amazing game. Oh yeah, and I also bring it up every cast, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, we got +1 attack, possibly going to be cancelled here, but there's a lot of cannons behind this, so that's at least something. Templar Archives coming in. Storm should hopefully start relatively soon after the end of this. And yeah, so Zealot's going to push forward, +1 attack, still not done, but he's going to try and do his best to keep this alive. He's got to keep it alive for about another 20 to 30 seconds, I believe that is. I can never remember the exact timing on +1 attack for Protoss, but looks like he's actually done enough. William's like, well, I've done what I needed to do. I've forced a load of cannons. I've got my 3rd base mining, going into my 5th and 6th hatcheries. Yep, 5th and 6th hatcheries. And gonna go into an evolution chamber, gonna go into his lair, gonna be able to start going for lurkers and stuff after this. Now, this is definitely a problem, because one of the major ways we've seen Zerg beat Protoss on this map is just going for a big lurker contain, and he's actually pulled everything back. So if Headmaster builds enough units, he's now got the freedom to move across on the map, and that's the kind of agency, as a Zerg player, you don't want to give the Protoss, because if the Protoss can just run across the map with a load of units... Have a good night, Aggie. Good to see you here, man. Hopefully you enjoyed your dinner as well. That must have been cool. But 6 gateways here for Headmaster, +1 armor coming in too. And here's where you see it. Zealot speed comes in. All of a sudden you have 12 Zealots out in the middle of the map you have to worry about. And, well, okay, there's only 9 Zealots, but still, it's something that you don't necessarily want to deal with. And, I mean, I can see that William is building a lot of units back at home. But they're not at the front, they're not out there, they're not keeping everything back from our Protoss player. There's no 4th base yet for our Zerg. It's going to be a while off, I would say. And with Storm coming in on these High Templar, if you let the High Templar just leave the base, you're going to be in for a world of hurt, because unlike when you see like these big contains, I mean, look at what Headmaster's able to do. He's able to get a third base now. This is something that if all the units were still out the front, he would not be able to do. He wouldn't be able to take a third base. And a third base is exactly what Protoss need to take this game longer. We've got Kadarin, or I don't know if it's Kadarin or Kadarian or Ariadan or something. I don't know. I don't know how to say the upgrade name. But that's coming in. That's going to give the Templar more storm energy. Getting the Templar 3 storms per full energy bar. And because he's defending, not going to need to worry about them dying too much because they're going to be up ramps and behind walls and stuff. So, Kardashian. It's the Kardashian amulet. Kadarin. Yeah, I thought it was right. Okay. Only they know how to say it. Oh yeah, and they start with 62 energy as well. Thank you for pointing that out, Melanol. Sorry, I'm on dark theme, so seeing your name is actually quite difficult. Yeah, looks like we had a 4th base attempt going down in the bottom right, but these zealots that he couldn't contain, they stop it. The drone is forced back. Yeah, they communicate through telepathy. Okay, now this is going to be William's move. He's going to push back out onto the map. No upgrades are done yet for him. He does obviously have the sort of Hydra speed and range upgrades. Lurkers are done as well. I mean, this is still a lot of units, so it's something that Headmaster's going to have to be careful of. But look how many high tempo he's got. He's got 3 at the main, 2 at the third. Wait. Oh, he took out one of his cannons. For whatever reason, I thought he took out his own forge, and I'm like, huh, that's an interesting choice. But we've got a wall up here. I mean, this is nearly 6 storms apiece at the top of this ramp, so he's not going to be able to get up that tight ramp. That's definitely a trap. And looks like back at home we've got Headmaster just adding on a ton more pylons. Gateways constantly pumping. Exactly what he needs. Robo observers coming in. Now, finally we're seeing this lurk and contain come in. But the way out has already been discovered, so this lurk and contain all of a sudden going to be in a lot of trouble. Good storms by Headmaster so far. Good splitting by William is going to make this a little bit easier to do. But the issue is, the great storms coming in from Headmaster here could just be too much. The Observer is going to allow the Zealots and the Dragoons to get directly on top of all of the remaining Lurkers. That was actually a bad storm. The Zealot actually killed the Zealot killed the Lurker, and then we lost 2 Zealots after it. So, a little bit unfortunate on that final storm. And half-priced Archons are technically not banned, because at the moment no one actually knows if they're actually really good, because they've not really been used to full extent. So, yeah. Now we have got a big Zerg army coming in from multiple angles here, but most of it's in Zerglings. Now usually that necessarily wouldn't be a good thing, but it's mainly only Dragoons here, with a couple of Zealots. Now he is going to cancel the 4th base again. And this Lurker, unfortunately, okay, another bit of a whiff storm. But this Zealot hiding under the tree, showing the Zerglings who's boss. Blatant hide and seek, and it's the hide and seek game of death. But I mean, there's so many units here for William, but he's just not really engaging with them all at the same time. He's not gonna be able to get those big flanks, and this could be the moment that decides the game. A whiff storm there by Headmaster, unfortunately. But a large number of Lings left over. But look how many Dragoons there are. A storm going off on all of the Lings coming in once again. Another Archon coming in. And still the units manage to hold. A good storm. Oh my god, there's even Ultralisk here by William. This is where all of his supply was. He was building a ton of Ultras at the same time. The Ultras are really going to be the thing that can swing the tide of this battle, as all of a sudden, all of the units the Headmaster has, Adrenaline, should be done. And if you don't have a ton of Archons, you don't have a ton of Storm, you don't have Reavers, what are you going to do against this Zerg composition? I always feel it'd be better for this Archon to turn around. But good move around by William, going to block the units from being able to run away. And he was going to try and choke himself up in this area. But it's just not going to work. There is a High Templar here, unfortunately unable to get too much done. But William, with a great pushback, doing a really, really good job there. Gonna be able to take a 4th base now. He's gonna possibly... Okay, so that's not gonna be a 5th base, but gonna take a 5th base down in the bottom right as well. And then Protoss. I mean, Protoss is on nearly 3-2 upgrades. So 2-2 upgrades. Plus 3 attack has only just now started. 7 gateways coming in here for Headmaster. No 4th base attempt on the way. There's going to be a Robo coming in at the 3rd. This is going to start... Well, he's got the Robo support bay because he's going to go in to Reavers. This is kind of the next stage of the PvZ. And it is from replays, but there were fresh replays live from Sunday. The reason why I cast from replays with the STPL is there is 6 best of 5 series played between the teams on Saturdays, or on Sundays even. Due to the timing, because it is a global StarCraft Remastered Team League, teams have got players from all over the world. It's better not only for lag purposes, but also to allow me to actually cast them, because I would literally be casting for 12 hours every Sunday if I wanted to make every game, and that's on a quick day. So yeah, I'm also recorded. None of this is live. It's all actually a lie. The SCPL never even happened. This is all like some deep fake conspiracy. None of the people in chat are real either. It's great. It's all a false flag. It's a false flag to save Brood War. Okay, so 4th gas coming in now for Willian. 5th gas coming in as well, and when you get to 5 gases, you're going to be in a very, very good position. Just looking back at the tech, we do in fact have the evolution chambers. They are going... Now, do I have... It feels like I have the dynamic lighting on. Now, we do have Reaver damage upgrade coming in. This is so, so important. The 6th base attempt is actually going to get taken down. Now, this is a good move because you're going to be able to send a probe up there to actually deal with this. Now, this is a very dangerous position to place this shuttle. If we did see a load of units, then maybe this could happen. But it looks like Willian is planning to do a big old drop. Now, the problem with dropping Ultralisks is, I believe it's actually 1 Ultralisk per Overlord, or 2. But it's not very good. But here we go. Looks like we are going to have the Reavers getting good shots off to start with, but needs to pick them up. Oh, he loses both Reavers. That's a huge mistake there by Headmaster. And Willian with a fantastic engagement, taking out so many units. This is such a big Zerg army. It's so many Ultras, so many Cracklings. What are you going to do about this? It's 2 Ultralords. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's 1 in StarCraft 2, my bad. Yeah, this is getting a little bit out of hand with a 5 base Zerg. Yeah, Zealots are good units. Yeah, 3-2 upgrades are good, which he doesn't even have yet. But how are you going to hold this ramp without Reavers? Like, if you've got Reavers, maybe he can do it, but Overlord's coming in and help this out as well. More units coming in behind. This could be a big move. That's a nice storm on those Ultras. Lots of good damage going down. Reavers going to be doing 150 damage per shot now, or 125. Can never remember the upgrades for Reavers because you don't see them very often. But what we need from Headmaster is a 4th gas. If he can get a 4th gas, if he can get a lot of Archons, a lot of Reavers, maybe he can still win this game. But Willian, with great engagement after engagement, so many units coming out of all of his hatcheries as well. It's just an insane amount of macro coming in from Willian. He's got so much money coming in, he can't even spend it all with all of his hatcheries. That's how much money this man has. Now, despite all odds, Headmaster holds for now, but the Archon goes down. One Lonely Dragoon with 3-3 upgrades. Not going to do too much. Here we go, the Reavers on the top of the ramp. The cannons actually not helping. They're causing a lot of problems, but good upgrades on these Reavers. Going to be doing a lot of damage to everything. Now, it's going to be hard to see exactly how many kills they've got, but really, really nice trades so far. Good pickups as well in terms of what's going on the map. We've actually got 2 observers over here. 5th base is fully mining. And Willian is looking to have a very, very strong position in this game. The Headmaster is holding on. He's adding on more cannons He's spending all of his money as well. This is the sort of time where half-priced Archons would come in very, very handy. He needs as much gas efficiency as he could. Z definitely doesn't suck. It's just Headmaster's in a really good position. Now this is the move that Willian needs to make. Willian is going to pick up all of his units and he's going to go for a big drop. Now Protoss is actually 1 to 4 down against Zerg on this map. But this is going to be a big drop. Dropping Overlords, dropping Lings on top of these Reavers. That's good. Wow, that Reaver Scarab killing so much. Another Reaver coming in behind this. Another Reaver going down. The cannons have been taken down and it looks like he's been broken. The Reaver at the top getting picked up, getting micro back. Another Reaver getting picked up in the final moments. Still cannot tell how many kills these Reavers have got. A Storm going down. Gonna help clean this up. But this is so many units here for Willian. More units coming in from behind. Gonna get another Storm down on those Ultras. But Ultras do not care for Storm. They do not care for many things. 5, 2 upgrades, 3... Okay, so Reavers don't benefit from attack upgrades, but still 3 armor on those Reavers. Headmaster still in a very dangerous position. This has been non-stop action over here at this 4th base for pSi Headmaster for the past 5 to 10 minutes. That's how insane this game has been. Archon at the back. He needs to get up at the ramp. If that can sit on the top of the ramp, that's going to be a lot of staying power on this base. There's actually a High Templar here, but another drop coming in, dropping on top of the High Templar. The Reaver, or the Archon even, goes down. There is a Reaver back here trying to build some Scarabs. More Reavers coming in from the main base as well. Big Scarabs going down, but look how quickly Zerglings kill everything. Oh, he picks up the wrong Reaver first. The 4th base is in shambles, trying to land to throw out a Scarab. But there's just so much damage being done. I've been keeping an eye on the map to see if there could even be any possible harassment anywhere. And Headmaster is so busy trying to keep this 4th base alive, he just simply can't. An Ultraling Hydra has just burst its way through. Now this is the moment where he's like, well, I've lost my 4th, I need to do damage somewhere, and this is a base he can do damage. Look at how many... Oh, the Ultra is popping out at the last second. Oh, the Reaver goes down, no Scarabs go off on the drones, and that Ultra is the king of the jungle here on this jungle tile set, because that just saved a lot of drones from going down. With no Reavers, with only 1 Robo back here, with his bases mining out. This is the last stand of our Protoss hope here for pSi. It looks like Willian's done it. He has played a fantastic game. But this drop, this is going to end the game. There's going to be absolutely nothing the Headmaster has to defend against this. He's got some units that are unfortunately out in the middle of the map. They're going to take a while to get back, and just look at how many units are coming out of these Overlords. Like, he's going to lose all of his buildings. He's going to lose his main. There's nothing Headmaster can do at this point other than GG. A Reaver coming in. Nice Storms, though, coming down, picking up and dropping the Reaver as much as he can. But as I said before, Storm tickles Ultras when they have 5 armor. Ultras really do not care about Storm. It's almost funny. That's why you need the Archons. That's why you need the Reavers. They're the real damage dealers late game. And he is going to be able to hold on to his main base, it looks like, barely. But at what cost? He doesn't have a 4th base. There's going to be another big drop coming in here eventually. Looks like he didn't actually have anything in the Overlord. All of his units are here, though. And I mean, this is everything that Marine Headmaster has left. He doesn't even have any minerals that he can rebuild these Scarabs with anymore. So no additional base is going to be taken in this game for Marine. Marine trying to sort of process this loss. Obviously, in the grand scheme of things, this doesn't matter too much. But there's a lot of units in these Overlords. They're going to come back in. I mean, the only thing you can realistically build at this point is High Templar, because he's only got gas. He's going to add on a ton of Archons. This is something he can do, but they're going to come in too late to deal against this drop. Willian taking the base in the top left as well. The whole map has been swarmed. Now, this is going to be a move that maybe Headmaster can do something, but the trouble is, if he doesn't shoot the right units, he can't do any damage. Now, 2 Archons going to be back here, going to do a lot of damage to anything that tries to break out the base. but realistically, is Headmaster keeping him in, or is Willian just keeping him out? There we go. GG. Headmaster taps out, and Willian takes game number 4. Okay, so that is going to be the end of our series for today. Obviously, we still have to go through the results just to go through, but that was a great game to end today's STPL on. Really, really well played game by both players, but Willian, with great map control the whole time, managed to take that, gives BuLL a 4-0 victory, which is great for them. It's great for us as well because it puts them a step closer to getting into the playoffs. But just to go over the results, just to have a look. We've got Flymeo took down Cold, Flash took down Grass, Dark took down Grass. Wait. Okay, Dark took down someone else. Dark took down... Who did Dark take down? Dark took down Marine. That was me just being stupid. And Willian took down Headmaster at the end of the day. So that was a really cool 4-0. We had some really, really good games today. Hopefully everyone who tuned in enjoyed. If you do want to support the STPL, the best way is to watch every single time, but you can also support financially by either subbing to the channel on Twitch, subbing on Patreon, where you can also get access to all of the STPL replays so far, and you can also donate directly to the prize pool with the Maturino link. And that's all down below. Now, there is another way you can support the STPL. You can actually go on the Maturino page, follow a couple of accounts on Twitter. That will add, there's some of Maturino sponsors, and it will add some free money to the prize pool. And if you're going to do that, why not follow the Twitter link below and follow the STPL on Twitter so you can keep up with all the latest news and events about the STPL. And finally, if you've missed any of the games, do check out the YouTube link below because every single game will be uploaded to here. Every single game played so far is on there now. It's over 400 games because the STPL has been going on for nearly a year. So it's been great fun for me. Huge thank you to everybody who tuned in. I'm going to find someone to host, and I will see you guys on Monday for some more STPL action.